Hey guys, I've got my clip in, so we know I mean business today. Today I'm going to be talking to you about a brand that is a little bit newer to my channel. I know you've seen a couple of their products sprinkled through my videos here and there, but today's video is sponsored completely by Nude by Nature. Nude by Nature is Australia's #1 mineral makeup brand, and we are celebrating the fact that they're traipsing their way into North America. They're coming into Canada right now. They are in Shoppers Drug Marts and Pharmaprix, which is French Shoppers Drug Mart. If you're wondering about Nude by Nature, I have a spreadsheet pulled up. I'll tell you all the things you need to know. So all of their products are made with 100% naturally derived ingredients. This is something that's super, super important to them. They also are formulated without synthetic ingredients or preservatives. So basically the whole feel of the brand is that they want it to be something natural, that's good for you, that still kind of delivers the performance you expect out of, more traditional makeup. Okay, let's do makeup together, you and I. First, I'm gonna be starting with the translucent loose setting powder. So this guy kind of has like a mesh inner lining, and then the powder just sits on top. So I like to kind of just pick it up on my brush, tap off the excess so that we're not building up too much product that we don't need. I'm not really wanting to mattify myself. I'm just wanting to really set my concealer. I've been telling you guys I've been a sweaty woman this summer. So I've been having a little bit of like mascara transfer and stuff, which is why I've been setting my sweet, sweet concealer. Never thought this day would come, but here we are. This powder is really nice and finely milled, so it doesn't seem to really build up or get cakey at all. It kind of just does what I need it to do. I also tend to kind of powder a little bit extra right around my nose because that's where I'm usually wearing my sunglasses, and I need my concealer to stay on there because it's hiding some deep sins that exist underneath my eyes. This is a product that's new to me for Nude by Nature. I haven't tried it yet. It's the Precision Brow Mascara in brown. Oh, little baby brush, very small. So I'm just gonna brush that through my brows first. When I'm doing my brows, I like to start with a tinted brow gel rather than finish with one because I feel like it helps me kind of determine where I need to put more product and where I need to actually fill in. I think sometimes when I just go in straight with like my powder or like a pomade or whatever, I end up way overfilling in my brows when I don't need to. Then I'm gonna use the brow pencil in medium brown, and I'm just gonna add really, really tiny little strokes, mostly to my outer, I was gonna call it outer corner, the tail of my brow. I usually like to keep most of the product concentrated on the tail rather than my front end because I just find it gets really blocky and heavy really fast there. So because this pencil is nice and creamy and pigmented, you really need to use like a super light touch with it. You don't wanna go in and like really draw on your brow. You just need to really, really lightly kind of flick those hairs in. So I usually just go through, apply my powder, my pencil, whatever I'm using, and then I always take this spoolie and just kind of buff out that excess product. If it gets a little bit hazy around the edges, you can go in with a little concealer brush and just sort of clean it up really quickly. I think that's about as even as they're gonna be. So we're just gonna move on. Well, we're in nice and close. We might as well do some eyeballs. I'm gonna be using their Natural Illusions eyeshadow trio in Rose. I'm just gonna take that little pinky color. It's really super light. I'm just gonna wash that into the crease. Just to add a little bit of depth, this is gonna work as our transition shade. I'm gonna be doing kind of like a classic smoky eye today. I'm gonna take that same color right underneath my lower lash line, just to start building up a little bit of color down there as well. Then I'm gonna take that darker brown, and I'm gonna grab this just on a little shader brush, and I'm just going to pat that right on the lid. I do find that Nude by Nature's formula is a little bit more sheer in their eyeshadow, which isn't the worst thing. It'd be suitable for somebody that doesn't really want to mess around with a super pigmented shadow first thing in the morning. But if you're someone who's well versed in eyeshadow, you might find them to be just a little bit more of a wash of color than you're used to. So you might want to just kind of build up that color. So I'm just placing that color down first. And then what I'm going to kind of do is dip my brush back and forth between those two colors we used to create a little bit of a lighter shade. And then I'm just going to buff out those edges. And that is the quickest smoky eye you've ever seen in your life. Then I'm just going to take that darker brown color and bring it right under our lash line as well. I'm gonna add a little shimmer. I'm gonna take the single shadow in the color Sunrise. Sunrise. They have one called Sunset too, and I always get them mixed up. I'm just taking that on a little baby brush, and I'm going to bring that right down the center of the lid And I'm bringing this up a little bit above my crease. And then once I have less product on my brush, I'm kind of tapping towards the inner and outer corner to diffuse that a little bit. Oh, I just like that this looks a little glowy. I think I'm gonna take a little bit more kind of like sparkle shimmer down the lid. So I'm gonna use the loose eyeshadow in Rose Sand. I love pigments because they're so easy to kind of add on to looks to amp them up a little bit. Even if it's just something where like you're wearing something during the day and you want a little bit more kind of like shimmer or glitter in the evening. Do I do that? Absolutely not. Do I love the idea of it? I really do. So their loose pigments come in this kind of packaging with a little applicator tip. I find that this packaging can be just a little bit finicky because a lot of product builds up on that tip. So for me personally, I like to kind of tap it off on the back of my hand or a palette or whatever. And then I'm gonna press that product into my brush. This will just give you a little bit more control. It'll help you kind of cut down on any fallout and anything like that because loose pigments can be a little bit trickier to work with than pressed ones. And then I'm just going to tap that right down the center of the lid. You could also use this with a wet brush if you wanted to really get it looking super metallic and textured. But I kind of like just having this little glow. This pigment is so beautiful in the sunshine. The way that it catches the light when it's sunny out is truly majestic. I could get into a car accident from staring at myself in the rearview mirror, but I don't do that. I only look at my eyeballs when I'm parked or at a light, and that's how you maintain safe driving skills. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I think I'm gonna leave this here. I'm gonna pop on my lashes and mascara, and then we're gonna move on to the rest of the face situation. I'm gonna use the loose bronzer in Bondi Bronze. This is the same type of deal as the translucent powder. So what I like to do is kind of like tap my brush in, again, tap off the loose product so that we're not getting like way too much product on the brush and getting it all over the place. And then I'm just going to bring that into my cheekbone. I love this bronzer because it's so sheer, like it's really hard to kind of over apply because it goes on in such nice sheer layers. You definitely can build up that color if you like a more intense bronze. And if you want it to be even more sheer, you can apply it with a bigger brush. But for me, like when I'm going around kind of like the contours of my face and in my cheekbones and stuff, I'll apply it with a little bit of a smaller brush. And I like this one because even if you're building up the color, it doesn't get kind of like that really like chalky matte finish that looks like you're wearing a ton of powder. It still looks like there's like nothing really there. Like it looks really thin on the skin. It's basically just the color that you see, not the texture at all. It just ends up staying really nice and radiant on the skin, and it doesn't seem to kind of like matte me down at all. I still have that kind of nice glow from my foundation coming through. So for my blush, I'm gonna be using the shade Desert Rose. This is probably, do I want to go this far? This is probably one of my favorite products from the Nude by Nature range. It's just such a beautiful color, and it really just has kind of like that luminescence of a mineral makeup. So I'm gonna take that on my little fan brush, and I'm just going to put that on the apples of my cheek and then bring it into my bronzer that we laid down. Oh no, I got bronzer on my hair. I've had the worst luck with blushes. Every blush that I love gets discontinued. So Nude by Nature, take this as a warning. I'm not ready to get hurt again. If I ever over apply my blush, I can kind of just like really lightly dabble over top with my sponge, and then it looks lovely. I'm gonna be using the highlight stick in the shade Champagne. So for me, I like to grab this guy on my finger. It's just kind of nice to warm up that product on my finger, and then I tap it on to my cheekbones, bringing it up kind of to my temple a little. I feel like this formula is nice because it's almost like a good starting point if you're kind of just trying out cream highlighters and just getting used to them. It'll work on so many different skin types because it's not super like greasy or glossy or anything like that, and it's not really dry either. It's kind of like right down the middle. It leaves like a really nice glow without looking too kind of like over the top. It doesn't look really cakey. It doesn't look like a streak of highlight on your face. Unless you're into that, in which case, I mean, you could probably take it there, man. For my lips, I'm gonna be using the Moisture Shine lipstick in the shade Garnet. I'm just gonna apply that directly from the tube first, kind of just to the center of my lips. And then I'm gonna take a brush and I'm going to spread that across my lips and almost use the brush and the excess product to line the lips. I had just like a little bit of a leftover lip balm on there, and I kind of like that it sheared out this product. I really like the texture of these lipsticks because they're comfortable, like they're not drying at all and they're definitely not matte, but they're almost more of like a satin finish in a way. I'm gonna go straighten these little bits of hair so that I look moderately presentable. Did I go through the efforts of straightening my hair just to put it in a ponytail? Yes. Yes, I did. So you guys, this is the finished look for today. Thank you again to Nude by Nature for sponsoring this video. As a little gift to you guys, they wanted to include a little sample goodies, you know. There will be a link to that below, and also all the products that I mentioned today will be linked in the description box for you guys to check out. All right, guys, that's everything for me. Thank you so much for hanging out and chatting. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.